5 seconds after the oath leaves your mouth, something changes. Not outside. Inside. Your right hand lowers. The room goes quiet. The flag barely moves in the stale air. A few people clap. Someone shakes your hand. But what you feel is heavier than applause. You just became responsible for lives. And you haven't even met them yet. Level 1. Second Lieutenant, the butter bar. Your uniform is still stiff. Your boots still shine like mirrors. 2 thin gold bars sit on your chest. They look small, almost harmless. But every enlisted soldier in the room notices them immediately. Second Lieutenant, the lowest officer rank, the most dangerous one, because you have authority, but almost no experience. You step into your first unit early in the morning. The air smells like diesel and wet pavement. Soldiers move with quiet efficiency around vehicles and gear. They've done this 1,000 times. You haven't. A staff sergeant walks toward you. His face is calm, unreadable. Morning, sir. The word sir feels strange. He's been in the army for 12 years. You've been here for 12 minutes. And somehow, you outrank him. Your platoon forms up in front of you. 30 soldiers standing in 2 perfect lines. Helmets under their arms. Eyes forward. They're waiting to see what kind of leader you are. Your heart beats faster. You start talking. The words sound confident. At least you hope they do. But inside your head, a different voice whispers, "Don't screw this up. Every decision you make now affects these 30 people. Where they go, what they do, whether they come home. You plan missions, lead training, sign paperwork late at night under fluorescent lights. But the real lessons come from mistakes. You give an order that sounds good in theory. In practice, it wastes 2 hours of everyone's time. The platoon sergeant pulls you aside quietly. "Sir, next time, try it this way." He isn't correcting you. He's saving you. And slowly, painfully, you realize something. The best lieutenants don't pretend they know everything. They listen. Months pass. Field exercises in the rain. Endless planning meetings. Early mornings and later nights. Your soldiers begin to trust you. Not because of your rank, because you earned it. But just when you finally start feeling comfortable, the Army promotes you. And the game changes again. Level 2. First Lieutenant, the proving ground. The silver bar replaces the gold. It's a small change on your chest, but a massive shift in expectations. As a first lieutenant, no one sees you as the new officer anymore. Now, you're supposed to know what you're doing. Your responsibilities grow overnight. You run larger operations, coordinate with other platoons, handle problems that never appeared in training manuals. A soldier gets injured during an exercise. You're the one making the calls. Medics rush in. Radios crackle. Vehicles roar to life. You stay calm, or at least you appear calm. Inside, every decision feels like a weight pressing against your ribs, because now mistakes have consequences, real ones. Not long after, another challenge arrives. Your first command, temporary, but still command. The company commander hands you the responsibility like it's routine. You've got the platoon for the week. For him, it's normal. For you, it's everything. You stay in the office long after everyone leaves, studying maps, reviewing schedules, planning every possible scenario. Outside, the base grows quiet. The fluorescent lights hum overhead, and for the first time, you realize leadership isn't about control. It's about preparation. But the Army never lets you stay comfortable, because your next promotion doesn't just increase responsibility, it puts you in charge of an entire company and over 100 lives. Level 3. Captain. The twin silver bars appear on your chest. Captain. This is where officers truly become leaders. You step into your company headquarters early in the morning. The hallway echoes with boots on concrete. Your name is already on the door. Inside are desks, radios, maps, and a whiteboard filled with operation schedules. But the most important thing waiting for you isn't furniture. It's responsibility. A company can have 120 soldiers, sometimes more. They all fall under your command. Training, discipline, combat readiness, their careers, their safety, all of it runs through you. Your day starts before sunrise. Emails, reports, meetings. Your phone never stops vibrating. One moment, you're planning field exercises. The next, you're solving a pay problem for a soldier whose family depends on that check. Leadership becomes less about tactics, more about people. You learn every name, every personality. The quiet soldier who performs flawlessly. the troublemaker who needs guidance, the sergeant who carries the company on his back. Your office door stays open because soldiers bring problems that can't wait. Marriages falling apart, financial stress, family emergencies. You expected to command troops. You didn't expect to guide lives. Then one night, the call comes. Deployment orders. Everything accelerates. Training intensifies. Vehicles roar across dusty ranges. Helicopters thump overhead. The company moves as one machine now, and you are responsible for every moving part. Before the deployment, you stand in formation facing your soldiers. Rows of helmets, rows of eyes. They're ready, but they're watching you. Because in moments like this, leadership isn't about giving orders. It's about giving confidence. The plane engines roar weeks later as you lift off into darkness. And somewhere over the ocean, you realize something unsettling. This is only the middle of the journey, because the next rank takes you away from the soldiers you know and into a battlefield of decisions. Level 4. Major. The gold oak leaf replaces your captain bars. Major. You are no longer in the trenches with platoons and companies. Now you work where plans are made. The operations center is dimly lit. Screens glow blue in the dark. Maps stretch across entire walls. Radios hiss with distant voices. As a major, you become part of the staff. You analyze intelligence, plan large-scale missions, coordinate multiple companies and battalions. Your job is no longer to lead 30 soldiers. It's to design the mission that hundreds will execute. But here's the truth no one tells you. The battlefield looks very different from a planning table. You sit in meetings that last hours. Every detail matters. Supply routes, fuel levels, weather conditions, satellite imagery. If one piece of the puzzle fails, the entire operation collapses. And somewhere far away, soldiers you may never meet will face the consequences. The responsibility is quieter now, but heavier. Because the farther you rise, the more invisible your impact becomes. You rarely see the faces of the soldiers executing your plans. You just hear the reports afterward. Sometimes the reports are good. Sometimes they aren't. But the army keeps moving forward. And eventually, the next promotion arrives. One that puts you back in command. Only now, the scale is bigger. Much bigger. Level 5. Lieutenant Colonel. The silver oak leaf goes on your chest. Lieutenant Colonel, you walk into a massive headquarters building for the first time as its commander. Inside are offices filled with officers, sergeants, planners, and specialists. But outside is a battalion, 500 soldiers, sometimes more. Multiple companies, multiple missions, multiple problems every single day. When you speak now, hundreds listen. Your voice carries across entire formations. The weight of leadership becomes visible. Every decision affects hundreds of families. Every order moves hundreds of boots. You review training schedules, approve operations, shape the direction of the battalion. But the hardest part isn't strategy. It's people, promotions, discipline, evaluations that decide careers. A single signature from you can change someone's future. You feel that weight every time you pick up a pen. Late at night, your office light is often the last one on. The base sleeps, but leadership doesn't. Because tomorrow morning, 500 soldiers will wake up ready to follow your guidance. And you cannot afford to fail them. But the army still has one more level waiting. A level where the battlefield expands far beyond a single battalion. Level 6. Colonel. The eagle insignia replaces the oak leaf. Colonel, you now command a brigade or serve in senior leadership shaping operations across entire regions. Thousands of soldiers, dozens of units, massive logistical systems, strategic missions. Your office overlooks large operations centers filled with activity. Phones ring constantly. Screens display troop movements across entire countries. Decisions at this level ripple outward like shockwaves. Move one unit, fuel convoys must adjust. Air support changes routes. Medical teams reposition. One decision moves hundreds of vehicles and thousands of people. You spend less time giving orders directly, more time shaping the future. Training doctrines, operational strategies, long-term readiness. The higher you rise, the more the battlefield becomes abstract. Maps instead of terrain, numbers instead of faces. But you never forget what those numbers represent. Because years ago, you stood in front of 30 soldiers as a nervous lieutenant, and you remember exactly how heavy that responsibility felt. Now the scale is enormous. But the truth is the same. Leadership is still about people, even when they're miles away. But there is one final rank few officers ever reach, a level where decisions can shape entire wars. Level 7, the General. Stars replace eagles. 1 star, 2 stars, sometimes more. At this level, you are no longer just an officer. You are a symbol. Generals don't just command units. They command strategy, entire divisions, corps, armies, millions of dollars of equipment, tens of thousands of soldiers. Your decisions appear in headlines. Your plans shape global events. Meetings now happen in massive briefing rooms with world maps stretching across the walls. Politicians sit at the table. Intelligence officers deliver classified reports. Every conversation carries international consequences. You study threats that stretch across continents, conflicts that unfold slowly over years. Your job is no longer just winning battles. It's preventing wars, because every order you give now echoes through history. And the strangest part? You still remember the moment you first raised your right hand, the moment everything began. You remember being that nervous lieutenant with 30 soldiers staring at you. You remember the rain during field exercises, the late nights planning missions, the weight of command as a captain, the silent responsibility of a major, the pressure of leading hundreds as a battalion commander. Each rank didn't just give you more authority. It took something from you, too. Comfort, simplicity, the ability to think only about yourself. Because leadership slowly reshapes a person. It teaches you that power is never the real reward. Responsibility is. And the higher you climb, the heavier it becomes. Until one day you look back across decades of service and realize something unexpected. The rank wasn't the journey. The people were. The soldiers you trained, the leaders you mentored, the lives you protected. Those moments become the real legacy. Not the stars, not the titles, just the quiet knowledge that somewhere, someone made it home because of a decision you once made. And that is the hidden truth behind every Army officer rank. From the nervous second lieutenant to the highest general, you don't climb the ranks to gain power. You climb them to carry more weight, until the day you finally take off the uniform and pass that responsibility to the next young lieutenant standing nervously in front of their first platoon, just like you once did.